Okay, good morning. Thank you for all joining this webinar today, an intro into Nomadics. My name is Paul Summerland. I'm an account manager here at Purdicom. I've got my colleagues Liam Kearney and Alex Claro on the presentation as well from our technical team, as those will be the guys that will be doing more of the demonstrations. Hopefully everybody can hear me loud and clear, and hopefully everyone can see the presentation on the screen as well. This is a live. Oh, there we go, Alex. Thank you. Loud and clear. Good stuff. Right. This is a live Q&A webinar as well. We do have a slide at the end to go through some questions, which I know, and thank you for people that have already written in with these pre-questions as well. So we'll do our best to answer those at the end. And of course, if anyone's got any questions throughout the presentation, we'll get those answered as well. I'm just going to give it one more minute before we start, just in case we have any more latecomers to this presentation, and then we'll get this going. Okay, fantastic. So the agenda. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of Nomadics itself, give you an explanation of why Purdicom have decided to bring on and partner with Nomadics. We'll go through some of their existing case studies as well, so some quite noticeable large end users. I'll then hand over to my colleagues Liam and Alex for them to do a demonstration on the MDU portal, so the QR code and the onboarding platform side of things. We'll then discuss about the onboarding and how simple it is for your guests to onboard with Nomadics. We'll have a discussion around property management systems and the integration. This is obviously quite a key thing with the product, as one of their largest verticals is hospitality. I'll kind of jump on at the end with some promotions. There is something that we're offering everybody on this call today regarding POC and promotions around demo kits. So we'll have a discussion about the options out there available for you with demo units. I'll then have a discussion about our wonderful value add that we can support you and your partners and your end users with, and then we'll finish off with some Q&A. So Nomadics. Why Nomadics? So Purdicom distribute for a number of enterprise vendors, such as your Ruckus, Cambium, Sitglue, WatchGuard, Ascom, Certa. All these manufacturers have quite a large stake within the kind of hospitality and MDU sector. We used to distribute for a similar product not so long ago, which unfortunately, because of the support, it was pulled out of the UK, which meant that we had to unfortunately lose our distribution with that product as well. So we wanted to find a solution that we could offer our partners to help them enhance their overall offering to end users. And because we're already distributing to a number of these opportunities within hospitality, Nomadics is a perfect fit for some of those options and opportunities. My guys in the technical have spent some time doing a test trial for a number of months. As I mentioned, we did distribute for a similar solution not so long ago. So we knew what to look out for. We knew what we wanted within a product to help our partners push into their opportunities and help support them going forward. So Nomadics was heavily tested and it has come out very high up, which is great. We know that there's a massive gap in the market for a product like this. More and more of partners that I work with are opening up opportunities within build to rent, whether it's MDU, whether it's co-working, hospitality, education. People are asking for a solution to allow guests to access the network easily. end user experience to be easy, flowing, and secure. So there's a huge market out there, and hopefully this is a product that people will understand the simplicity of it to help them add it to their already existing wireless and wired opportunities. So it, like as I mentioned, it's a sizable existing opportunity. So what is Nomadics? Nomadics offers gateways for seamless wired and wireless connectivity solutions across public access networks and enterprises. It is simple. It is easy from an end user perspective for them to be able to join a network with a QR code, with an access code, to be able to do that freely and easily. It gives them the simplicity and slick onboarding process. Not only does it allow our end users to join a network securely and easily, once they join that network, they are then segregated or issued their own VLAN. Once they own their own VLAN and they're in their own highway, motorway traffic, whatever, they can't see anybody else. You are able to offer things like bandwidth management. Now that bandwidth management can be chargeable. You can do tiered options for guests, whether you want to charge them for a higher bandwidth or whether you just want to offer it free. But being able to give our end users or your end users the option for tiered access, it's fantastic. It's great. It's also very easy to set up and configure. This is one of the big things that my technical team wanted to understand, that they were able to take a gateway within an hour without support, although there's full support within the UK and full support from the vendor. They wanted to be able to take a gateway, install it, just using the online manuals within an hour. So it's not something that you have to spend days in, days out trying to understand. It's not overly technical. It's very slick, very easy. And that will obviously help with support calls and obviously with the technical guys when it comes to installs as well. Superior end user experience. So as I mentioned earlier, it is nice and easy. I think we can all agree the most important thing for end users when they're trying to join a network, when they're walking into a hotel, or when they're walking into an MDU building, anywhere, is an easy, slick, a nice way of joining on. And this offers it. There's two ways of onboarding with this product, which my colleagues Liam and Alex will go through later on and show you some demos, whether it's a QR code, which I think everybody unfortunately now has probably used with the track and trace that's out at the moment, or whether it's an access code as well. So there's two options. It is vendor agnostic. So the MDU portal at the moment is only Ruckus, but the access code onboarding option is vendor agnostic. It's secure. So when onboarding, as I mentioned, you are assigned your own VLAN, which I know comes with a number of benefits. Within Nomadics, they call them doors, I believe. So you are then segregated or assigned your own VLAN as soon as you're then entered onto the network. And as I mentioned, I think one of the most important things as well is obviously it's fully supported throughout the channel. So both Purdicom and our technical team are fully behind this product, and they'll be fully behind you as well, with supporting you in installs and any technical support that you need, along with support direct from the vendor as well. So just moving on quickly to the type of case studies. Where are Nomadics gateways already installed? As you can see, there's some very high-end, well-established names there. Obviously, a lot of hotels, Novotel and IHG and Holiday Inn. That it's being used on Sydney trains, which is great. I think one of the noticeable ones that I saw and I've read about is the FIFA World Cup in Brazil in 2014. They actually installed this product into 12 of the major airports servicing the World Cup. They installed it into subway stations near stadiums. They installed it on a number of beaches. so Cabana being one of them, all to give public the opportunity to connect to a Wi-Fi network easily, free, so that everybody had great wireless access and they're able to watch all the games wherever they are throughout the day around Brazil. I mean, that shows how scalable this product is, from a single hotel hospitality MDU unit, from a transport trains perspective, all the way to then accommodating such a large event like the FIFA World Cup. So Nomadics, obviously comprehensive portfolio, as I mentioned, it includes the gateway itself. It offers an option of casting as well, which is obviously quite big within hospitality, and it's all cloud managed Wi-Fi as well. So wherever you are in the UK, across the world, you're able to manage from a single pane of glass, which is really nice. The software that Nomadics use is all patent technology. The biggest thing that obviously is part of the technology is they're managing the bandwidth for their guests, which is superior to everybody else that we've seen. And the ideal opportunities here are obviously your MDU and hospitality, but we have, as I mentioned earlier, seen a lot more education opportunities come up for something like this as well. So although we are talking more around the MDU, hospitality, or build to rent homes, anything like that, education again, I believe is something that we should be looking at definitely with a product like this. So I'm going to hand over to my technical colleague Liam, who's just going to go through the quick portfolio and then do some demonstrations on the MDU portal.
Hi everyone, thanks for that, Paul. That was very good. So the Nomadics portfolio, let's take a look at what sits under the Nomadics portfolio and what Nomadics has to offer. So we see here edge gateways. So Nomadics have a couple of options available when it comes to gateways. We have the EG3000 and the EG6000. So the EG3000 being the smaller model and the EG6000 being the larger model. They support 1 gig or 10 gig and can support from 500 devices to 8,000 devices, depending on the gateway chosen. As mentioned, the 3000 will be the 500 devices and the 6000 up to 8,000 devices. These gateways can also be clustered to support thousands of devices at one time as well. Then we also have the casting solution. So Nomadics has a casting solution, which will enable users to cast on their phone to the TV. Now, I know we've all been there. I know I certainly have. When signing into Netflix, when you enter the hotel room and having to enter the username and the password, when it comes to leaving, you forget to log out, which is obviously a huge issue because you don't want people having access to your credentials and access to your Netflix account. So basically having the ability to cast cuts this worry out. And all it is it simply walk up to the television, you scan a QR code and you're on. And then once you leave, once you disconnect from the Wi-Fi, the casting solution will stop. So you don't have to worry about signing out on anything. And then we also have the cloud managed Wi-Fi here, which again is similar to the casting solution. It has a QR code that users can use. So they simply scan it on their phone and they'll be onboarded onto their Wi-Fi, which I have a nice little demo for here, little video. So we see here, we scan the code, you hit join, just verifying that we've connected to the Nomadix test, haven't needed to select anything, got an IP address. We type Amazon in and there we go, we're onboarded already. So it's nice, it's quick and it's simple. And I'll just show you quickly what that Nomadix MDU portal looks like, so you have an idea. So here we have the dashboard page. So this is what a service provider will use. So if we click up here in the 3 dots in the top right, we have 3 separate roles. So we have the service provider role, the resident services, and then the resident. So I'm currently on the service provider role and you're presented with this dashboard. So if we click on subscribers, so manage subscribers here, we have our list of subscribers. We have their name, their email, their phone number, so their contact details, the property that they're assigned to, and the status of those users as well, so in service, which is good. If I dive into my user now, so here's my profile. So I've got my email, my name, my phone, all my contact details. If I need to, I can reset my account password if I feel like it's been too long that it's not been changed, or I feel like someone has access to my account that shouldn't. And then I select save, and it will issue me a new password. We can also see the Wi-Fi subscriptions that I'm currently assigned to as well. So we have my unit ID, which would typically be your door number if you live in a block of flats, say, for example. The service tier that I'm assigned to, so Purdicom test 40 meg, which I will show you what the service plans look like later as well, and go through how you create all those. The SSID that I'm connected to as well, so Nomadix test, the service start date and the service end date, which is important if you've got a tenant living for, say, 6 months. You can schedule this so they only have this connectivity for 6 months. And then resident Wi-Fi password as well. So their details are also included here in the portal. If I need to issue them a new password, I can select this button here, and it will reset their password, and it will send them an email with steps to follow to create a new password. And if for whatever reason the client's forgotten their password, I can send this email to them, and it will send them a reminder of what their password currently is. So now if I go back up into properties, so here if you have a load of properties, we only have one property, as this is our demo environment. But to add another property, you would simply fill in the information here that's relevant to that property. But just for this demo environment that we've got, we only have one. So we have Woolly Barns here. We have our address, the size of Woolly Barns, so how many doors and tiers, and what SSID is associated to it. So the Nomadix test. We also have devices. So what devices are currently connected. Just show you what that looks like briefly. So your devices will come up here in the list. Then if I go back here, so we have our gateway information as well. So as you can see as well, the Nomadix test is green, and so is the Purdicom gateway, which means it's up and it's working, which is good. So if you need to, for whatever reason, access the gateway console, you can do so via this button here at the end as well. So let's take a look. So let's click on the spanner icon quickly. So again here, I know I've mentioned details quite a bit so far. So here you fill out all your relevant information associated to where Woolly Barns is and where the gateway is situated. So property, the campus, and then your service offerings as well. So what service plans you have associated to that Woolly Barns, and you can deal with all that here. So what availability you want to give it, and if you want to associate certain plans with certain buildings. Here we have the relevant gateway information, so the IP address, the username and the password. We also have the provider, so who provides the gateway. And as well as that, we have the wireless networks. So Paul briefly mentioned earlier that this MDU portal works with Ruckus. So here we have our Ruckus information. So the sort of controller it is, so Ruckus Smart Zone, what version that Smart Zone is running, the password, and if it's associated. So it's green, which is also very good. So everything's up and running, which is good news. Now, if we take a look at our property layout wizard, so this is where you'll associate your buildings to your gateways. So you can have, for example, say, if I do a quick example for everyone, I'll do one building, one floor. Now the doors is usually, as I've mentioned, it's the rooms that you have. So say I've got one floor with, that starts at door number 5, for example, and I have, say, 4 doors, four apartments on that one floor. You would enter those details here, and then we would associate the VLAN to the door as well, because it just makes everything more simple and easy to manage when you're looking at if there's any issues, and you can diagnose where the problem is and lies. So I'll do VLAN 5, as that's the starting number of the doors. If I hit generate, here we go. We'll see here. So under property units, you'll find the unit that's associated with the VLAN. So we have unit 5 to VLAN 5 and so on, as we've created the gateway, the address, and then the building and the floor, and whether anyone's been associated to it. So usually, if, as you can see here, this service is free, And this service here that's currently created is used up until 2021 for this one and 2020. And as these are empty, these won't have any information in at all. And simply just to remove these gateways, this information, select them, hit the delete icon, destroy, there we go, and they're all removed. Also, if you need to sync your VLANs and your doors up with your gateway, if you hit gateway config sync, the MDU portal will send this information displayed in this table across to the gateway, and it will be displayed in the gateway. Now, if I go back up to properties and then subscribers underneath the Woolly Barnes property. So again, here we can see my name is under here. It's associated to unit 303, door 303, all my relevant information that I'm in service. To add a user, you can do this via batch subscription. So you download this CSV template, fill out all the relevant information. And then once you've done filling out that CSV template, you enter a name in here, any service plan that you want associated to them, the SSID that you're connecting to as well. And then you browse for that CSV file, and then you upload, and all your subscriptions will appear here in this list. Now, if I just go back. Now, if I, for example, click on a property, so a free one, how to add that user to the unit and the door, it works similar to under subscribers. You type in their email, all their details in here, especially the email that's associated. You select save, and then what that will do is it will send that client an email, because they'll currently be in progress on the Nomadics gateway, and they'll be in progress until they've agreed to the email and signed up. Once they've done that, you'll see that it's in service and the user is currently connected and they can get onto the wireless. Now, I know I mentioned service plans. So here we have the service tiers and the information. So we see here we have a couple of service plans we've already created previously. And to do so, you do so here. So if you need to edit a previous service plan, you can select them from here, or if you need to create a new plan. So we go to new plan, you can select the plan availability, whether that be withheld, available on select properties only. So if you have, say, 5 properties, but only 2 need availability for this service tier, you select that. And then we also have available everywhere. So this is available on all properties, of course. And then associate it to a plan name, and then the upload and download bandwidth that is also associated to that tier. Once you hit save, it will appear in this table below. And then to edit a plan, if we go in here, you can see this plan is down here already. It's 40 meg upload and download, and it's currently available everywhere. But say, for example, it needs to be changed because the user is paying for more service. You simply hit 50/50, change the name to save any confusion, select save, and there we go. You can see that the service plan has changed. Purdicom test 50 meg, upload 50/50, and then that will be associated to all properties. So that's the service provider section. We also have the resident services area as well. So this shows a little less than what the service provider piece does. But if we take a look at managed subscribers, it works similarly to the subscriber section up in the resident, in the service provider piece, where you can add a batch subscription of users and then select on the appropriate property, hit the drop down, and then tie them in here, hit save, and then they'll be added to the property once they've approved of their email. And now the nice bit for the end user. So this is what the resident will see once they've got onto the portal. So you can see here the network, the Wi-Fi password for this user, and this is the QR code. And in the demo I showed, this is the QR code that the user will scan with their phone that will upload them to the Wi-Fi within 20 seconds. And if they feel the need to reset their personal Wi-Fi password, they can do so via this section here. It has any account information for that user as well, if they feel they need to change their phone number, for example. And also if you have certain devices at home that you're not sure on how you connect. So say you have a Nest thermostat that you need to connect to your Wi-Fi, you simply, this guide here will take you through how you can connect that to your Wi-Fi. There we go. Another method that can be used as well, I know I mentioned previously that the MDU portal is for Ruckus only at the moment. We also have access codes, which is vendor agnostic. It can be used on Cisco, Cambium, Ruckus, etc. And it's another option for onboarding guests that is also quick and easy. The method involves you can have a receptionist create a code in the Nomadics gateway and hand out the codes to the relevant users that need these codes. And as I've mentioned, the codes are created in the Nomadics gateway. I'll just show you a quick video of what that will look like. So here I connect to the access codes SSID, select connect. I'm then presented with this web page. I simply select access code. I type in the relevant access code. Select login, and I'm onboarded. And that portal page can be branded with your own company logos, etc. There we go. Just to verify there, I can get onto Amazon after entering the access code. But as I've said, that portal page can be designed how you like it, so you can have your own custom business branding on there as well. And then finally, PMS, so property management systems and how this works. So the Nomadics can also integrate with a hotel's PMS system, which is used for a hotel to store their client information. And how this usually works is the user will open up a web page, enter the relevant details. So this could be the room number, for example, or a booking reference along with surname. Just basically details that the PMS system will store that is relevant to that user so it can recognize who's trying to sign in. And then the Nomadics will link with the PMS system to try and verify. The user is who they say they are, and then it allows them onto the Wi-Fi if their details are correct. There we go. And that's how simple it is to integrate with a hotel's PMS system. If there's any more questions, we can answer them at the end. I'll now hand you back to Paul, who will discuss introductory services.
Thank you, Liam. So we're going to have a quick discussion or a quick chat about the introductory services that we can help and support you with going forward with this Nomadics product. So the value add that we offer here at Purdicom, I think obviously the first one being training and technical support. You have full access to our technical team. So Liam, Alex, and others within the department are there, I would say night and day, but they are there to help you as a partner, support you from the beginning of the opportunity, to help you spec the solution, to discuss any questions that you've got, right until the end to the post installation and even a post survey. We will obviously deliver some training for you as well if need be, if you want to at the moment join an online training session. Again, that's something we can support you with. But as I mentioned at the beginning, and as you've just seen via the demonstrations from Liam, hopefully you can see how simple it is, again, both from an end user perspective, but from an installation as support perspective as well. So that's one quite key value add that both Nomadics and obviously Purdicom can support you with. From a logistics perspective, we're able to obviously make sure that we've got these gateways available for you as early as possible. So as long as you engage with Purdicom from the beginning of the opportunity, we can ensure that we are giving you access on time to the relevant gateways so that we can hit your tight deadlines. No doubt at the moment, most deadlines seem to be pretty tight with everything going on, but we'll do everything that we can from a distribution perspective to ensure that we've got these gateways available for you for your install. Finance. I think this is a big one, especially within hospitality, because I know that a lot of hospitality opportunities aren't always bought on capex, and I know that most of the time things are offered at a per room, per week, or per month opex solution. So there are finance options out there available for this, whether it's kind of leased or whether it's something that's put on an opex model. Please do get in touch with Purdicom and your account manager to kind of discuss the options out there. Obviously, Purdicom we offer our own kind of credit facility as well, but especially if you're looking at different solutions, different offerings such as the OPEX, there are options out there. So with Purdicom, everybody will have a dedicated account manager. So as soon as you are talking to prospects or end users, engage with an account manager at Purdicom. They will then bring in the relevant people, again, whether it's technical, to support you with that opportunity, both commercially and then again, obviously from a technical perspective. So everybody will have an assigned account manager, and they are there to help you with obviously winning the business and finding new business as well. Going on to finding new business, we have a wonderful marketing team here at Purdicom, headed up by Carla. Obviously, full access again to all the content, campaign support. We're able to get MDF funds, so marketing development funds as well. So if you wanted to run a certain campaign, again, within the hospitality, within MDU, within education, any vertical where you feel that this guest onboarding solution will fit, there is access there with the marketing team as well. So the professional services, I know I briefly mentioned about our technical team, but you've got, as I mentioned, full access from site planning, pre-staging. So we actually offer all these services for majority of our, or if not all our vendors. We've got pre-staging line of sight surveys, which is obviously more geared to around our point-to-point and point-to-multipoint offering that we do with some of our vendors. Access point labeling, which I know again a lot of our partners do use, especially on some of these sizable installs. Anything that we can do to support and help you prior to an install, so that you can focus your installers or your technical team on other aspects of the installation. We can do a lot of that pre-kit going out. So again, please talk to please talk to your account manager. They'll discuss the options out there available for you so that we can help support with the installs. Okay, so this is the slide that I discussed at the beginning. Everybody on this webinar today has access to a promotion for the demo units, for the NFR kits. Okay, this is only for people on this webinar today. So appreciate with a product like this, and I know again, I go back to Liam and how easy and simple it looks in the demonstration, but I'm sure you're all keen to get your hands on the physical gateways yourself. So we've got these 3 promotions running out at the moment on those 3 different models. As you can see, the normal NFR price obviously is in dollars, but we've converted it into pounds and then done a reduced rate on there as well. So if you are interested in getting your hands on a piece of equipment or an NFR kit, please contact your sales account manager or contact Purdicom in general if you haven't got an account set up with us, and we'll be more than happy to discuss all these 3 options are available, and again deliver any one-to-one demos or any training that you feel that you would need for support going forward with Nomadics.
Some of you have already asked questions beforehand, so we're going to roll straight into those questions that you've asked, and if there's any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat window and we will answer away. So the first question we had was, can you talk about the user interface, payment security, GDPR, and email collection for marketing? So for anyone that's a connected user, you can actually see the information in the MDU portal. So you can actually see who they're connected as, their username, but also because you've registered them in the MDU portal, you can see that anyway. It's the same with the access codes. Because you've registered the user to receive an access code, you'll actually see the information about them prior. With regards to GDPR, as soon as the user's time expires, so when the user's on the system, you have their MAC address, for example, but the moment that their time expires, they'll then actually be removed from the system and all data held against them is removed automatically as well. In the Nomadics Cloud portal for hospitality, there are also data plans based on usage where you can also get more reporting as well. And with regards to payment security, so we do work with most payment vendors. So if I take PayPal, for example, what will happen is PayPal, you log into your PayPal account when you try and purchase a plan, for example, and it'll actually load up the PayPal portal. So it's actually held directly with the payment vendor, meaning that we are completely PCI compliant and secure as a result. So then how do you configure Nomadics? Well, unlike some vendors, they actually give you a quick start guide in the box, which is how we configured ours so quickly, with under an hour from never touching it. And it actually walks you through how to set a public IP address, how to create a DHCP pool, how to create a VLAN. The hardest bit I found was actually getting my own switches configured correctly because I kept missing VLANs out. But it's really straightforward. There's also, this is actually answered later on by another question, Nomadics offer full configuration guides on the website for free. So you don't have to worry about waiting for someone from the States to get back to you. It's there, ready to go. So the next question we have is, what client operating systems are supported? Well, we support all of them. So we support absolutely every operating system. So whether that's iOS, Android, Windows, the Linux operating systems, it's effectively just loading up a capture portal page. So as long as your browser or as long as your operating system can load a capture portal page, we support everyone. So how does it integrate with other major vendor solutions? Well, if you've got a smart zone by Ruckus, well, then we can natively integrate using the MDU portal natively. So all you literally do is point the MDU portal towards your Ruckus Smart Zone. It'll ask you for the administration password, and that's about it. After that, it can create all the DPSK it requires. Can it deploy certificates? Unfortunately not. You would need to use something like CloudPath for that. However, Nomadics and CloudPath can work hand in hand to deliver that solution for you. Ooh, my mouse has now stopped working. Brilliant. So you would like to look at secure bandwidth management for wired and wireless clients. Okay, so with wireless clients and actually wired clients, because all we're doing is we're limiting or we're rate limiting that VLAN effectively, no device can talk to another device unless they're in that VLAN. So if I've got VLAN 1 and VLAN 2, the two devices cannot actually speak to one another because they're completely segregated from the get-go. If you're using the MDU portal, you have the ability and the nice addition that actually you can use WPA2 encryption, which means that actually from day one, the user's traffic is actually encrypted with WPA2 encryption, AES 256-bit, without having to worry about someone hijacking that connection. So how does it compare to the RxG from the security perspective? Well, the Nomadics operating system is actually built on the same operating system that NASA used for the spaceships. So the same underlying software is used between both parties. So it's arguably just as secure, if not more, than the RxG when using Ruckus, especially if you're using the DPSK. So from that point of view, they're a level playing field. So what level of support can we expect from the UK/EMEA? Well, we have support from all over. Our lovely vendor is actually in the chat. So Andre is actually an attendee. He's actually our senior engineer for EMEA. So he's joined us today in the chat window. You might look, if you look at the attendees, he'll be there for you. So business case and value to customers for selling it. Well, what we've tried to emphasize through this entire demo is that it's extremely simple to set up. It took us less than an hour from never touching it before to set it up. When we did have a question, we simply raise a question to the support at Nomadics, and we got an answer within an hour. Didn't have to wait for the United States to come online. We got a response within an hour when I raised it at 10 o'clock in the morning. They have European support representatives, as well as UK, as well as worldwide. So they're a very stable company from that perspective. Where can you find the Nomadics data sheets? Well, like I said, they're available on their website absolutely free. And if you can't find them on the website, then just ask us, because we actually have a copy anyway. And if there's any guides that you're unsure about how to do something, again, just ask us at helpme@purdy.com or go to support.purdy.com, and you'll actually find our entire knowledge base for any product that we sell. And we can build our own guides for you and actually work with you to build that solution. So that's the end of the questions that people have raised. I'll now go to the chat window. So is there support for Ruckus Unleashed? So we do support Ruckus Unleashed. We actually just use it via the access code solution instead. Someone else has asked if we have our own cloud Ruckus controller on multiple sites. Can Nomadics sit on the same controller? It can indeed, and actually our demo controller is built in Ruckus High Scale or Ruckus Smart Zone High Scale, and we actually have it sitting in there. So it can 100% sit on your cloud controller with multiple sites without a single issue. At that point, if you're looking to have all the sites filter to the Nomadics, you may want to look at the Ruckus data plane as well. So you can actually offload the data directly into the Nomadics from all your sites. But we can have a further conversation around that if you would like. So Bal, hey Bal, you've asked us about what PMS gateways are supported and if there are any costs associated to the integration. Well, as long as we can access the database, we can integrate with it. So Nomadics has quite literally hundreds of PMS systems that it can integrate with. So the questions really we'll ask you is, what PMS system is it? And then we can actually tell you how we can integrate. But from the PMS side, it's really simple. Once the integration is there, and because it's part of the actual Nomadics device itself, all we actually do is we pull out the booking reference and the customer name. And then from there, we can actually integrate. And when the customer logs into that portal, it's going to simply say to them, what is your booking reference? What is your name? Maybe what's your phone number? Depends on what you'd like to pull from that database. And then they'll be able to log in. And it's really that simple. And the last question we have is there any cost associated with the MDU portal? So yes, there is. The MDU portal is actually a separate product that integrates directly with the Nomadics and the Ruckus Smart Zone, but it's not horrendously expensive, and your account managers will be able to tell you the price associated with that as well. Like Paul said at the very beginning, there are special discounts for anyone who's attending this webinar, so we can give you some special pricing as well. So are there any more questions, guys? I'm just looking in the chat now to see if there's any more. Okay, well, it doesn't look like there are. So just like to say thank you for attending today, everyone. Really grateful that you could spare some time to look at this. And if you've got any more questions, please do reach out and we will answer them as quick as we can. Thank you very much.